You ever look at your life and think, how did things get this messy? Not movie-level messy, but the kind where your sleep schedule is broken, your motivation disappears every Monday, your room looks like a crime scene, and somehow you still say, I'll fix everything tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, then another tomorrow, and suddenly months go by. The truth is, most people don't need a completely new life. They don't need to move to another country, wake up at 4 a.m., or suddenly become a productivity machine. They just need a few simple rules. Rules that remove chaos. Rules that make life easier. Rules that quietly fix everything. Because life doesn't fall apart overnight. It falls apart through small habits repeated every day. And the good news? Life also gets fixed the same way. So here are 7 simple rules that can slowly organize your mind, your habits, and your entire life. And trust me, rule number 7 might be the one that changes everything. Rule number 1, stop waiting to feel motivated. One of the biggest lies people believe is this: I'll start when I feel ready. You think motivation comes first, but it doesn't. Action comes first. Motivation usually shows up after you begin. Think about it. You don't feel like going to the gym, but after you go, suddenly you feel better. You don't feel like studying, but after 10 minutes, your brain slowly starts focusing. Your brain is like an old car in winter. It doesn't move instantly. You have to start it first. Most people wait for a magical feeling, but successful people move before they feel ready. The secret isn't motivation. The secret is starting badly, even if it feels awkward, even if it's small. Just begin. Because unfinished goals don't destroy confidence. Never starting does.
Rule 2. Protect your time like it's money. People get careful when money leaves their pocket. But time? They waste it like it's unlimited. Scrolling for hours, watching random videos, opening apps for just 5 minutes, and suddenly it's night. You don't always need more time. You need fewer distractions. Imagine someone gave you 24 fresh hours every morning, because that's exactly what happens. But most people spend those hours without noticing where they went. You don't need to become extreme. You don't need to delete every app and disappear from the internet. Just ask yourself one simple question. Is this helping my future or stealing from it? Because tiny distractions feel harmless, but repeated daily, they quietly become a wasted year. Rule 3. Stop trying to impress everyone. This rule can save you years of stress. Most people aren't building a life they love. They're building a life that looks impressive. They buy things they don't need. They act a certain way. They post things just to look successful. And the funny part? Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you as much as you think. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to approve of your choices. If you spend your life trying to fit into every room, you slowly lose yourself. Real peace starts when you stop explaining your life to people who never plan to understand it anyway. Freedom begins the moment you stop living for random opinions. Rule 5. Learn to be alone without feeling lonely. This is a life-changing skill. Many people are terrified of being alone. That's why they stay in bad friendships, bad relationships, bad situations. Not because they're happy, but because silence feels uncomfortable. But being alone isn't a punishment. Sometimes being alone is where your brain finally becomes quiet enough to hear itself. When you spend time alone, something interesting happens. You stop copying everyone. You stop chasing noise. You start understanding what you actually want. And slowly, you become yourself again. The strongest people aren't always the loudest. They're often the ones who are comfortable sitting with their own thoughts. Because if you enjoy your own company, you stop begging the wrong people to stay. Rule 5. Your environment shapes your life. People underestimate this rule. Your environment matters more than motivation. If your room is messy, your brain often feels messy. If your phone is full of distractions, your focus disappears. If you surround yourself with negativity, your mood changes without you noticing. Your environment quietly trains your habits. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your surroundings. Think about how hard it is to focus when notifications keep interrupting your brain every few minutes, or how difficult it is to stay disciplined when everything around you encourages distraction. Small changes matter. Clean your space, remove distractions, spend more time around people who inspire growth, because changing your environment is often easier than forcing motivation.
Rule 6. Stop comparing your timeline to others. This rule silently destroys happiness.
You see someone your age making more money, someone getting married, someone becoming successful, and suddenly your own progress feels small. But comparison is dangerous because you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You don't know their struggles. You don't know what they sacrificed. Life is not a race. Some people figure things out early. Some people figure things out later. Both are normal. The biggest mistake is thinking you're late. You're not. You're simply building at your own speed. Focus on progress, not comparison. Rule 7. Keep promises to yourself. This rule changes everything. Confidence doesn't come from motivational quotes. Confidence comes from trust, the trust you build with yourself. Every time you say, "I'll wake up early, I'll stop procrastinating, I'll start tomorrow," and then you don't do it, you slowly stop believing your own words. And that's dangerous, because if you don't trust yourself, nothing feels stable. But every small promise you keep builds self-respect. Making your bed, going for a walk, reading 10 pages, drinking more water. These seem small, but they quietly tell your brain, "I do what I say I'll do." That sentence changes your identity, because discipline isn't punishment. Discipline is self-respect. And when you trust yourself, life becomes easier. You stop doubting every decision. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop depending on luck, because you know you'll show up. And that confidence becomes powerful. The truth is, life rarely changes in one giant moment. It changes through small rules repeated every day. You don't need to become perfect overnight. You just need to follow a few principles consistently. Start small. Pick one rule, just one. Practice it this week. Because fixing your life isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things repeatedly. Your life doesn't become organized when you feel motivated. It becomes organized when you stop negotiating with yourself. And over time, those small choices build a completely different version of you, a calmer you, a stronger you, a more focused you. And maybe the life you want isn't far away. Maybe it's simply hidden behind a few better rules.